line. Check the radio, big crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up. Finger to the sky and a green light shining bright. The only thing I have is
The anticipation couldn't be any bigger and it couldn't be any crazier. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to PTM Racing TV as the Six Sigma Sim Racing Oval League returns to PTM Racing TV once again for what could be a wild day of racing presented in part by our friends at Six Sigma Sim Racing. A big thank you to them and all their support. Again, if you want to get yourself the best Moza and Sim Magic dealer on the market, well then stop by over with Six Sigma Sim Racing and check out their laundry list of incredible rigs and racing crafts and all that. Their products are the finest tuned to the best price. With that said, 16 drivers coming to us today. Charlotte Motor Speedway about to feel the absolute power and the unit of a Gen 4 Cup car. This is the first time we've ever had a full-fledged race with these bad boys, and it's time to see what kind of horsepower they can kick out compared to those ARCA cars. Well, let's take a look at our starting lineup here, and on the pole, do you really think it was going to be anyone else? It's Jimmy They Be Hatin' Hayden in the 24 on the outside, and the 21 is Corey Abbott. Run number 2 in the 12, it is Aylington Norgard on the outside. The number 6 is Parker Patrick Kelly. Run number 3 in the 777 is Kerry Brooks the outside. In the 43, it is William White. Run number 4 in the 41, Brian Beeman in the outside. The big 20, it is Andrew Hardcastle. Run number 5 in the 22, the Old Oak, Jeff Oakes in the outside. In the 5, the Throttle, Chantel Bottle. Run number 6 is going to be the 121 of Logan Key, the outside. The number 2, it is Chad Lancaster. Run number 7 is the 61 Chris Schuessler on the outside. And the 11, it is Jeffrey D. Bradley. Run number 8 and the 3, Arthur Clements for the outside. Your final starter today, the 15, Luke Mahone. Field now ready to rip it around and settle them down on the track. Well, I'm not gonna lie, race fans, I'm extremely excited to see this one and how this plays out. Again, this is not the ARCA car, but this is the Gen 4 900 horsepower car. They are bad fast, they are wicked crazy, and they are tough to tame. This is a driver's car and a driver's race today. And we're about to find out who is the one that can hold on to the line the best, who can hang on the longest. The long, long road to success with 120 laps to the distance. About to set sail. Off for corner number 4 here. We're going to set the Six Sigma boys to their line, to the drive. It is time to begin the new season here at Charlotte. Let's get racing in Concord. The Gen 4s are on the track. A little bit of a wicked start there for Parker Patricelli out of the gate. I think it's safe to say they definitely sound like Gen 4s out there. Philip White says, good luck, Chantel Bottle. A little love down there to the throttle. Here we'll see what she can do as we're currently out of the bat and out of the gate. Jimmy Hayden leading it, nailing to Norgard. Corey Abbott right on the nose and on the tail ends of them. 120 laps to the distance. These drivers in practice qualifying laying down 30-second lap times. Which obviously I don't expect them to lay that down the whole time here. I'd say this is probably going to be more of a 31 to 32 lap bracket. A little bit more conservative, a little bit more hindering in nature, and a lot of drivers trying to just not get themselves into too much trouble. A few new onboard cameras we're working out here on the system here. This Gen 4 Cup car getting a little bit of new system work here. One of our first new updates we did with the Andrew Hardcastle number 20. You get a good look right there what kind of designs they come up with, what kind of seeds they kind of create. And Hardcastle, the armor all not quite up to the same power and speed he was hoping to stay with. Got a little bit tight and loosened it out off of turn 2. He saved it, but man, that was a tough little break. Aylett Norgard, Jimmy Hayden immediately right now trying to fire off on one another here. Norgard right now holding the best line he can. Remember, he was your champion in the first season, but last season, well, it seemed like it was a completely different story between him and Jimmy Hayden. They be Hayden, man, took full control of that season last time out, and now as the defending champion, all eyes are on him to do good and succeed. Man, you can feel that power too coming through the drive, through the chicanes here. 192, 195, 100 miles, 192 miles per hour. These drivers are hitting on every level of the track and certain speeds and endurances. That is certainly a 900 horsepower track. But again, we got to remind ourselves the tire wear on these cars will be a big factor. It's going to affect many drivers to do good and be successful. Watch for the drivers early on to try and stay away from doing too aggressive. Be a little bit more conservative, a little bit more under control. As right now they draft their line off on down that back straightaway here. Still it is Norgard, it is Hayden, it is Abbott, it is Brooks, and it is White. Your top 5 drivers, while everybody else right now just tries to kind of stay with them. And now Brooks opening the door up a little bit to the 43. William White looking to the inside. Big jump on the round. Brooks into a wall off turn number 2. That gives the opening to White. White making a jump there right in between the 23simware.com. Has now made his mark. 213simware.com, I should say, not 23.1, my bad. A little scheme up on that number 22. I'm so used to saying the 20, but Jeffrey Oaks bringing the Interstate Batteries car out on the track. A little bit of a love note to Bobby Labonte out there. As we go on board here, on the right side of his camera here, you see the Six Sigma Sim Racing number 5, the throttle Chantel Bottle. Racing with a lot on her mind and a lot of thoughts today. But nevertheless, she always does what she does best, which is just come out, try to entertain the crowd, and also to please the fans that wanted to see some hard racing. she's already right now just trying to stay relatively under a smooth control, a little bit more on the gap and under the bridge. Her speed right now, I definitely got to believe she's probably just thinking how hard is it going to be on that long run. And how bad will those tire wear affect her. Remember, she did get a win, though. She got it back in the very first race last season. And she somehow did it at Daytona, of all places, with that next-gen Cup car. And still, to this day, she's beat out some of the toughest legends and some of the toughest drivers that come through on our circuit, on our show. Names like Aaron Smith, Greg Janzik, James Harris, Robert Kahn. She's topped a lot of them and many more by one simple little fact. She is the only driver on Pizza Race TV to win in numerous cars in numerous series. To name it off would be incredibly hard to even figure out, as we got a little trouble down there after Clements in the 3 and just Jeffrey D. Bradley, a little bit of problems there through 3 and 4. Vertigear 11 and the Wrangler number 3 have a little bit of a war of attrition there. It looks like they found themselves in a little bit worse for wear. Let's take a look at the replay here and see what happened. Presented by Six Sigma Sim Racing. Here is your PTM Race TV Instant Replay. Well, Chris Schuessler there. Just kind of in the way. Oh, man. Nasty hit. Nasty hit. I think the 11 wasn't expecting Arthur to slow up that much. But again, that's a 900 horsepower speed you're carrying through those corners. One wrong move, and it is going to be game over for you. Such a sudden little hit and such a sudden little fall there. Again, they have one instant repair today, so that will give them at least a bit of a chance to try to straddle down and conquer the rest of this race here. But I have a feeling right now patience is going to be their biggest issue and their most dilapidated situation here. Jimmy Hayden right now leading it out. Elitz Norgard right behind. We had a full 10 laps in before we had brought the old caution flag out. A lot of guys right now trying to avoid getting into pit road early. Looks like they're looking just to kind of stay relatively under control. Watch the ever so corner offs and the turns here, making themselves kind of pace conditioning and the speeds here. They will be double filed. I'm up this time around here. Hayden, Norgard, Abbott, White, and Brooks, your top 5. It'll be interesting to see here. Again, we are only just one part of the race through this race. Not a lot of openings or gaps to bridge off from. All it matters is you get it going and you get the speeds are rolling. And the field now has got the picture. They're now looking to settle themselves up a bit, ready to fire off again. Rolling them off down that front straightaway here, looking for the restart zone. And the Six Sigma Sim Racing restart zone caters our drivers to the green flag. Let's get them back to it. Back in the route, back in the speeds. Hayden with the big jump. Hayden looking to try to get away early. Norgard and Abbott, though, not far behind. Again, when you literally have a 6 cents of a gap there, you can easily shrink that down a few seconds there. All that raw power and all that raw speed, though, it certainly will do a number on you if you're not careful. Brooks learns that the hard way. Looked like he overdrove a little bit going down through turn number 4 and ended up slapping the wall around a little bit. Andrew Hardcastle trying to fight him there a little with the 41 of Brian Beeman. Ooh, it's a Pepsi Cola machine up ahead. Hardcastle, though, back on the right side. Big gaps trying to militate where he wants to go. But the longer they drive, the longer it becomes a hard fighting little shootout between these drivers. Again, they know they cannot give up one another. They have to try and run the course. But at the same time, once those tires are cold, you really have to start warming them back up a bit, even when they warm up. Well, let's just say I hope you know how to drive, because honestly, this car will still find a way to give you a handful of trouble. It is a wheelman's car, and a tough car at that. Watching Norgard too, usually I don't see him working that wheel as hard as he does, but you can just see how hard it is already just to get this car to really take shape and take aim. It's almost like a rocket ship just having with a steering wheel on it. You just have so much more adrenaline and rush to go through that you forget you even have such a strong engine inside you. The only thing you know is just make sure you just hold on that line and hope the car doesn't lose control. I'm over there with Jimmy Hayden as we take a look at our lap times here. First couple laps there was an easy jump there for him, but then he lost a lot of ground from there. Now at this point, he's looking to try to keep his distance up and try to keep the pace at bay. Every other driver right now just trying to do whatever they can just to keep up with the lead pack and stay out for the last lap. And there, the number 6 Parker Patrick Kelly out of the game. Remember, he qualified 4th. Ends up snapping the wall up right out of the gate, but jumps it ahead of Chad Lancaster as Lancaster, the Skull Bandit, opens it up. I believe he had kind of stocked that car up from Handsome Harry Gant, or as they call him, Mr. September. If I am completely wrong and I completely messed up what the actual driver is, feel free to let me know in the comment section below, folks. Whether it's on YouTube or it's on Facebook, I will certainly look them over and I'll make sure I don't make the same mistake again. Well, already 1/6 of the way there. And look at this. Abbott again climbs the ladder to Hayden. I kind of wonder, though, is Hayden getting a little too good of a restart off when somebody starts? Is he end up burning his tires up just by trying to get away? Hear me out. You hit that gas pedal as hard as you can right at the start. You're spinning the tires out because, again, that power is coming from the rear end, which then travels a little bit towards that nose. End up trying to find all the routes to keep these cars in line and play. It will tear up all that equipment and all that momentum you haven't built up. It becomes even harder to control and dish out. Back behind the pack right now, battle for 6th. Brian Beeman right up into the mix there as Hardcastle and Oaks go to war here for 7th, but also one wrong move for Beeman, and he's going to be feeling the face of one of these two drivers coming at him. I was always wondering, you know, on the top of my head, you know, how hard would it be for these drivers and how quick would the pace be to control this kind of run, this kind of momentum I'm certainly seeing it right now. Extremely talented but hard racing drivers getting it all dialed in and figured out. But it also makes me wonder too, you know, when we had the 87s on the track at North Wilkesboro, were they maybe just a little bit of a product of their own failures, or were they just maybe trying to drive in a car that they should have practiced a little bit more with? I think since they got this Gen 4 picked out, I think they really had a lot of ideas and a lot of game plans on how to handle it. But I think that just goes to show us something here, that next gen car, as hard as it may be drivable, it still is very drivable compared to having to run an 87 car for as long as they had to that day. You know, kind of crazy too to think William White, who just made that pass there on the inside there of Ailton Norgard, finally got something going for himself here. But White is the only driver out of the top 5 and top 10 in the points system then in both seasons who have never won a single race. Yeah, how crazy is that? This guy right here, literally, he's driven the wheels and the lug nuts off of pretty much every car you can think of. And for a stock car champion in real life, which is amazing to me, he has not been able to finally put everything together, put everything where he needed to be in place. Well, Jimmy Hayden right now still your race leader here as Corey Abbott tries to gain a little bit more off the cups and trying to keep everyone back in their place there. William White right in that back half, looking to try to stabilize up as much as he can. I do apologize in advance, my voice seems a little bit down. I may want to remind you guys last night that Talladega had one of, if not maybe the greatest races we've seen there in quite some time. From start to finish, what an absolute spectacle of a show. No one, and I mean nobody, gave an inch, and no one would let off, even when the bumpers were put together, even when the cars were driven to their limits. It was a show that I think you all need to see. Be sure to check it out on our YouTube page, and while you're at, subscribe there if you like the content, you like the show. Same thing for us here on the Facebook end. Like and follow us up here. Without you guys, we cannot do what we do. William White, Corey Abbott here looking to keep their levels up, trying to keep their drive off there in the distance. You can see each driver just trying to hang in for what it's worth here. Abbott, though, to me seems like he's off by a little bit of the pace here. He was catching Hayden there a minute ago, then he fell off again. I kind of wonder, is he just driving way too aggressive early to try to get the Hayden immediately and try to force him into a bit of a leg up there? It's hard to really say. All I does know is it's not all the up where he needed to be there. Big drive from the inside from William White, and it was a no-go. No quit, no stay. William driving pretty aggressive though, man. He's looking for a whole lot of running. He's looking for a whole lot of momentum. He's put the pressure on, and he's got him right where he wants it. It's just the car is not quite getting that level and that leftover speed that he needs off the exits. I think that's a lot of it has to just do with the overall intensity that you have to kind of work around and have to face up against. But he finally finds one there, gets a good jump off, and now he takes it over. 1/4 of the way done. Let's go on board here with Timmy Hayden. Let's show you why he's so successful right now. One thing you notice, look at how tight he drives his car. Look at how smooth he rolls up the corners, has to roll down the turns. But notice, he's still steering the heck out of that thing. Remember, that's a 900 horsepower package he's dealing with. And he is controlling every little bit of that corner, every little bit of that drive, while at the same time trying to stay away from trouble. I've always said it before and I'll say it again. The looser you make a car and the harder you make it to drive, the better the racing becomes. And it looks like, unfortunately for that 3 of Arthur Clemens, I think this car may be a little too much for him to drive. It looks like he's having a lot of headaches right now, and it's hurting him big time here. Yeah, Clements right now definitely bringing it back a little bit of an oldie but a goldie with that paint scheme down there. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like the Raise Hell and Pays Dale moniker has come to fruition for him. I don't think it's going to either at this point. So the gap right now separating off. Again, though, we are only 1/3 of the way done with this race. There's a lot of racing still to be had. There's still plenty of time for these guys to give up openings and give up chances. Remember, they do have to have a go short to pit road here. Well, Hayden right now has given up White a lot of time. Maybe a little too much in his mind. Let's take a look at our lap times here. A lot of gap gain there from 35 and 37 and 39 there. And funny thing is, White's not exactly losing any of it back either. The 38 and the 36 laps there, he had it pretty much kind of in the palm of his hand here. So I'm curious here, has William finally found a winning formula? One thing I can say for sure, though, is smoother it's faster, and it certainly makes for quite a bit of a run here when you get it locked up and you get it dialed in, and these guys are well aware of that too. Here's your Hardcastle right now, still up ahead here, up Brian Beeman. Beeman again was fighting quick and fighting hard, but he has not quite got to that level yet. He's looking to try to drive a little bit more up to that front as the Armor All number 20 continues to hold its line down. I think Beeman too might have a little bit of damage on that outside right front fender there. Looks like it's kind of caved off a little bit. That could be getting inside that tire. Remember, you need the right front, whoa, to actually kick up some corners. And that's a mistake there. Beeman Got an opening, and just like that, snuck your way in. Hardcastle, you just can't make mistakes like that in this car. Speaking of making mistakes, Hayden right now. Gotta avoid some. I'm genuinely shocked right now. This car has actually put up a little bit of performance here. If people say they want extra speed, I think that's the reason why. This is literally what we call hard racing. Watching drivers trying to hold on to a car, trying to hang on to a line, and fighting for everything they've got. It's actually a pretty good start to the season, if you ask me, for everybody here in this league especially, for what they're bringing to the table. Elton Norgard entering into pit road early here. Hayden right now trying to stick with it. Looking for a gap to bridge off from Hayden. William going up top. Is Hayden going to pit road? Nope, he's going to stay down low. Looks like White decided just to park it up there a little bit, try to build a little bit of crossover speed there. But you can see as soon as he gets trapped, he's trapped. It's not really the dirty air, it's just a matter of backing off. Until this move right here comes the outside, the 43 of White. Big jump, big run. Oh, side by side for the lead. From across up on to across up lanes, William White making good use of it, and he forces Hayden into pit road. He'll stay out just a little longer. A big jump with a new leader. Meanwhile, size back up a bit. Beeman and Hardcastle, they are still pretty close and connected. As the number 12, the 8th door guard, just barely getting in the way there a little bit. And now Hayden, Oaks, and all them into pit road here. William White finally got to go to the pit stop. So that will give those boys that are hard charging up for as many laps as they can a little bit of a break. But it looks like Hardcastle will admit defeat. So will Beeman, Parker Patrick Kelly, and I believe the throttle Chantal Bottle's going to be heading down there the way she's looking. Nope, I take that way back. She just tries to play a little snooker move on these drivers. Your new leader has defied the throttle, Chantal Bottle. Let's check our best lap times real quick here. Right now, we're looking quite a solid amount of lap times here. The fastest I'm registering right now was a 30.76. Well, I have to take that way back now. As Norgard decided to blow into it. 30.27. Your new fastest time is Ailton Norgard. He blew the doors right off of Jimmy Hayden down there. But again, Hayden will be being Hayden a little bit if he does not get what he wants. And the Performance Alliance, number 24, trying to stay right in there with the number 12 for Ailton and the Let's.GG machine. So Paul's still your race leader here by about a full 14 seconds ahead of the field. Again, racing with a lot on her mind today. I talked to her earlier and she said point blank, yeah, I know I've got plenty of things to worry about, but right now I just want to enjoy my time on the track as I always do and run with the finest and the toughest. That's my thing, that's my style, that's the way I want to do it. Hats off to her for doing it here. $70 laps will remain. And it sounds like the 5 still doesn't want to go to pit road. I think maybe she's trying to go for the extreme long run here. Maybe a bit of a risky move considering how hard it is just to actually perfect and do right. If you can do it right, man, though, man, it does so much good for you and your team and your career, because the fact is, you pretty much have set yourself up for a very big positioning of power and run. Dale to Norgard right now, moving into the race lead. Jimmy Hayden right behind him. The throttle set to Alpano going into pit road here. William White, Corey Abbott, all of them right in that mixing in that tail end of the field. Curry Brooks, a little bit of a problem down there in the 7776 Sigma Sim Racing. Gap is right now starting to burrow up a little bit. Here we go now, though. This is what I think the drivers wanted to see again, was another battle for the race lead. Norgard and Hayden looking on. Someone's going to have to let up sooner rather than later, though. Norgard right now looking to hold in there. Abbott, big jump there around White there. He's run off from the distance, and both drivers now looking to kind of keep their grip and keep their distance up a little. Dodge flag out on the track here. Looks like there's a problem down there, unfortunately. And we got one spun around there. Looks like that might be the 5 of the throttle Chantal bottle. Oh boy. Chantal, you may want to remember, these aren't the ARCA cars like the pit stall. These are Gen 4s here. That rear end kicked out a lot underneath her there. Oh boy. I'm gonna look at it here and see what happened. Yeah, it's a little too hard on the throttle. Oh! Ouch! That was ugly. And okay, now I see. I guess I gotta stop. I can't make fun of that too much there, because obviously that whole rear end kicked out from underneath her. So, oh yeah, right there you can see it is completely destroyed. I thought she just over accelerated the throttle. No, I take it way back. She actually had a problem there, and it's because she slammed the tire in the damage model. Tell you what you will about it with iRacing, but man, they did a great job putting it together. Watch this one more time. Oh! Horrible, horrible hit, unfortunately. Just not what you want to see from a driver's standpoint, nor as a fan's view. It's one of the worst things you can feel, and you can just absolutely hear the crunch when that car slammed. She's okay, as you can see, though. She's still moving the car around okay and just fine, but that rear end destroyed. She's going to have to get the instant repair out, and she has got it out already. She's going to get the car back out on the track. Norgard going to try and stay relatively cleanly in this position where he's at right now, but he knows he's going to have a long, long road just to get to Hayden again. Pit stops plenty here, but only about 9 laps in for some and about 8 or 7 for others. And they're going off a very distant fuel strategy here, so a very tough little decision needing to be made. Well, Hayden so far has been throwing everything into the wire and throwing it to the fire here, but now he's got a very daring track here and challenge he's got to face up against. Knowing what could possibly go right, knowing what could very, very much possibly go wrong, he certainly needs to be very superstitious about this one. Double them up. And let's see who gets the better out of the combatants here. We are now going to be halfway done with this race. The halfway point reached. Now it's all gains and ground from here. Those on the lap down map right now: Parker Patrick Kelly, Chantal Bottle, Arthur Clements, Chris Schuessler, Jeffrey D. Bradley, and Luke Mahone, although Mahone did not intervene today. Gonna lead him back down around from corner number 4 back to the starting line here. The Six Sigma Sim Racing Oval League looking to bring it home again. To the green we fly. Let's see if Hayden can get this one finished up. Still a long road there for that. And you know, a guy like Ailton Norgard with this strategy and deceiving nature, they'll plan something out on you. You will not contest it when you least expect it. Being down right now, William White immediately trying to jump on that level, trying to jump into position here. I think he wants a piece of Hayden, but Hayden again keeping his momentum up. Remember though, when they were at that lower end tires, White was actually the driver that had a little bit more ground to coverage and a little bit more gain in speed. But will he find it here too? Got a bit of a lockdown there, but so does Ailton Norgard. Norgard, remember, he's on fresher tires, and this is what we're going to see is absolute raw power and cunning from a fresher set of tires. Something I don't even think anybody was expecting right now. Norgard, high side, big jump, big run, huge speed, grain of ground, grain of traction. He's got him on the outside, and now Norgard looking to put Hayden to shame this time around. Just playing to his will and playing to his strategy, and this is exactly what he wanted to do. It's a brilliant marketing move and a very smart area to really run from. Hayden in trouble. Norgard on the outside. He's looking. He's puffing. He's stoking. He's smoking it up a little bit, looking for it all. And back on the outside, the ledge.gg almost gets the wall, clears the gap. Hayden, though, won't give up. He's not going to give up, and he's not going to try. Again, though, Norgard finally wears him out just enough, and now he takes the race lead completely away. Meanwhile, back in the back, you see Gary Brooks, Jeff Oakes going at the old Oak. He's had a bit of a career renaissance as of late, living up to his new nickname, the Old Oak, after his absolutely trepidatious conformance he pulled off in the Sunday Night Elemental Racing League at Atlanta Speedway. That's why we gave him the nickname, the Old Oak. Standing for reliable, trustworthy, and a lot of reliable as an oak tree should. And he just knows how to stand above all else, and he'll take all the abuse and punishment when he has to. Got it around Brooks. Big jump off, and now he's moved it 5 spots ahead to the Hard Charger Award winner. Well, a lot more there with Ailton Norgard. You hear him just kind of cooking that throttle up, kind of still the speed up, looking for any kind of ground or traction he could get. Marco Kelly right now looking to get his lap back. Brian Beeman looking to take down Corey Abbott right ahead of him. It looks like Beeman actually now, looks like he's kind of getting a little bit more of a run there on Abbott than we kind of give him credit for. Beeman looks like really he's just kind of dictating his pace more, a little bit closer and closer. But the harder it becomes, the quicker you be driving. Because that's when you're really trying to make sure you get every little bit of that Gen 4 Cup car out. I don't know though, I mean, I don't think if I was these guys I would want to be pushing that quick, that hard, that level when you got so much more on the line. I would think the longer run would be those that kind of just dictated back a little bit and step back from the race. I think I've seen a lot with William White here. Really, his strategy I thought was working great till that caution came out. Kind of threw him for a bit of a wrench again. Again, though, we do have to keep in mind that obviously they have only a select amount of fuel and a fine limit to have to work around. So it does slightly change up gaps, and it does slightly change up all their power control. Hayden right now looking to keep White away from him here. Again, though, White looking to try to get back on the wagon, back into the steering, back into the top ends of the levels of the race he can bring to the table. Oh, Jeff Oaks there. A little too close to that wall. Again, you got to believe that he's trying to work the wheel as much as everyone else is. And on a track like Charlotte Motor Speedway, too, where it's high speed, high power, high velocity, I would think more than anything, really, that these guys kind of try to play a little bit more of a smoother end of the race rather than trying to push the absolute limits themselves. But then again, these guys are as bad as crazy as they get in terms of just trying to drive a Gen 4 with 900 horsepower out there, so what do I know? If you ask me, no, I probably could not do it. I have driven the Laras, which are literally like bullets on a track, but I don't know. This Gen 4, it seems like it'd be a car, honestly, that probably would get me a little bit more pushed up and shoved up into the wall more often than not if I care to count. Not a bad car by any means, though. I love this car. It's a lot of power and a lot of fun when you figure it out. But that's, again, when you figure it out. I think that's just the one thing I never can do, honestly. So... Alex Norgard still your race leader here, the number 12, Ledge.gg. Still see fighting that car off, though, as much as he is trying to race it out. Back up into the second place spot, though. Battle for your second position. The old Oak having a little fun right now, and he is making good use of his run. Takes down Hayden, and White now right in between there. Hayden is gone to pit road. So Oaks now moving into second, White back into third, and again I just wonder the way that White has been racing today, is this season gonna finally be his time to park one into victory lane? Again, he's been so close yet so far, so many times. It's just crazy to me that you can go that far in a race, you can go that far in the level in the playing field, as a lot of these drivers have, and yet only get to a certain point, to a certain level. Brian Beeman right now looking to keep it up there with Terry Brooks here. Brooks still in your fourth place position, top five, having a little duke it out here with Brooks, Beeman, and Abbott all in that hunt. Abbott almost kind of looks like he may be slowing up a bit too. I don't know, maybe that's just me there, but he almost seems like the car isn't quite all the way there. Maybe he's mentally just kind of getting fried up a little bit, struggling to keep it on line, keeping it in pace. Coming up now here, Brooks, Freeman, Abbott, all in line, all in position. Looking to try to find that one little hedge. And Beeman seems to have found it deep to the inside. Here comes the Pepsi Cola 41. Oh, it's a little Crystal Pepsi for you, my friend. Oh, right between Chris Husler there. That 61 got right out of the way and almost got him into trouble. The Little Caesar 61. Nearly find himself on the rocks and in the boats there for a second. Jimmy Hayden. They're going to be hating him a little bit more. He's trying to get his lap back, so he's going to be pushing his limits a little too. A lot of drivers right now trying to see if they can stabilize this car up and see just how long you can go with it. But I have a feeling that Hayden may have his reign end so far this one. Abbott right now looks like he's going to try to possibly just kind of play a little bit more of a struggle game here, as you see Beeman head to pit road now. So the Crystal Pepsi doing what he could to stay in, but right now he's going to have to go into pits and have to figure a little bit of a plan out here. Ailton Norgard only needs one more good pit stop, and this one's all but wrapped up like a bow for him. He's got a 3-second, 20 hundredths of a second differential between those drivers. He went on lap 58, by the way. Oaks went on lap 58. William White, by the way, is in second, went on lap 46. And if you can believe it too, he's actually keeping up, and if not, kind of overtaking a little bit of what is happening with Norgard. So now that really tells me one thing, which is you may want to be careful if you are running around William White this season. He may have a little something. I think this should be a great season for these drivers and a really excellent showing of just how hard and how tough this pace, this race, and this kind of traction will be. That's a beautiful little run there. Hayden making his jump right ahead. The DuPont 24 scheme, I think many of these Concord, North Carolina fans, as well as the fans of Charlotte Motor Speedway, know all too well. Too bad it's not the T-Rex design, though. That would have been absolutely, that would have been a lot of fun to look at. For those at home that don't know what the heck I'm doing here, the T-Rex design was the design that was created by the actual guys at Ray Evernham Motorsports with by Ray Evernham, and then worked with Hendrick Motorsports. And the reason I bring them up is because, again, they were the ones when they set everything all down to the line, down to the wire. They had actually found a little bit of a loophole, or if you will, with some of their things they could do. And all they did was just basically follow the rules and just make some of the absolute crazy, speediest cars you'll ever see. Until it got banned the very, very next day there. And that's why they call it the T-Rex car, because it just absolutely destroyed everybody in that race. And by the way, they started dead last too, and they still found a way to take them all down. And the Performance Alliance 24 now finally starting to get a little bit more ledge off there. He clips the ledge from the 12 of Norgard, while White and Oaks continue to try to get Ack out of there. Pit stops now up in the ground. Oaks is getting out of there. White is out of there. All 4 tires for both drivers. And of course, fuel, well, that ever hurt a little bit. I don't know. I said earlier, I think honestly Hayden probably what struggled the most here, but it looks like right now the way he's playing his attack and playing his strategy, I think actually he might have actually outsmarted them a little bit. Norgard still leading, trying to hold on. Again, he had a huge discipline of speed here the last time he was here when he was driving the Xfinity cars. But it seems like he had failed to really compass one thing, which was really how well and how long could you run a car out for before it would be too tired even for itself. I think he's kind of figured that strategy out and that plan of an attack here in this one. Parker Patrick Kelly right now on lap 54 tires. He's just hoping for a little bit of a break, hoping for a little bit of a luck here. He's got the 41 of Brian Beeman right on his outside, looking to clear him. The 6 of Parker Patrick Kelly not able to hold on. A big move there and a nice little show of driving style. Oh, boy, until Arthur Clements decides to almost intervene down there. Hard charging, some hard racing now for these guys currently just trying to find their way around the place. Norgard right now, if he doesn't get the pit road here soon, he may be walking a very fine line, and a tight line I do not want to be anywhere a part of or near in this case for him. Yeah, you can just see too what kind of speed you can get for just having fresher sets of tires here and not having to worry about controlling the throttle too much. Final making their way around Norgard easily as can be. So weird to just watch like what we saw in ARCA cars there. We'll see tomorrow night as well in their final race. And just see how just profanely difficult it was just to get these kind of machines, these kind of speeds built up and built around. It's such a heated display of raw performance and raw power. Jimmy Hayden looking and hoping and praying that they make a mistake up there and that he can take control. Norgard right now at this point in time, I think really he just, the only thing he seems to really mind is just staying right in his element. Once he goes into pit road though, Hayden is going to clip the wings off him. He'll be catching him quickly. It's gone till lap 58. There's no way he'll be able to last out that long. Let's take a look at our pit stops here. The most they've been able to go is about 45 laps. Norgard's on 42 right now. Yeah, he just does not have enough time, honestly. But man, you gotta give him credit. He's at least trying to put up a little bit of a showmanship on these boys. And again, he's saving all the fuel he can, but it's just extremely hard to keep where he's at in motion and keep himself in that playing field. Jeff Oaks finally getting around as well there. Logan Key making a huge little runoff there. Chris Huesler, the 61, staying up high with the little Caesars machine there, as you see the 5 with Chantal Pottle and the 24 Jimmy Hayden making their way right on around. Hayden right now being trapped up there by the throttle. Pottle trying to get as close as she can to maybe, just maybe, putting a little bit of doubt into these drivers who would be thinking that they would not be able to hang on. So Hayden now has indeed taken the lead. You can probably guess where Norgaard's from. And Norgaard just took all 4 tires and the fuel, so he's now really going to be needing a break here. If there is a caution though, or something happens, I would not want to be any of these guys with Norgaard on that kind of set of tires. We saw what he did a minute ago. Now, this is where things get a little more interesting. You remember what I said earlier about William White and Jimmy Hayden? Look at this. That is definitely not sitting well with Hayden, and this is not going to sit well with him anymore. I thought, honestly, Hayden was kind of going to start running away a little bit. I think I might have to eat crow for this one. Look at this big power slide off. Oh, my. Hayden got loose off at 4, fighting that 43 of White yet again. Can William finally figure this one out? This may be his element. This may be exactly what he likes to do. Flipping up on the outside. There it is. Big run. Big run. Can he get him? His spotter telling him, just stay on it, just stay in it. He's got it. He's got it. William White is your new leader. He went on lap 90 tires, by the way. He's got enough to finish this. Hey, Jimmy Hayden was pushing his limits and trying to hope for the best. What a complete turn of events with 14 laps to go. This is the closest he's been to finally getting one off his radar and into victory lane. Kerry Brooks way off pace as the old oak just scoots right on by, as well as Parker Patrick Kelly and Logan Key. Only 13 more to go, man. What a performance this has been for everyone. And again, a brand new car. When it was a little bit dull, you thought honestly it was just going to kind of keep going from there, but no, it completely flip-flops and everybody then tries to figure it all out. Coming around right now, looks like Oaks having a little bit of company there from that 121 of Logan Key. Logan getting her right up ahead of him here. It's kind of crazy to see Jeff Oaks, as smooth as he is right now, is actually as clean as he has been. I'm pretty impressed right now with this here. I think honestly he may have something too in this car. I don't know. We'll see. 10 laps to go, and right now this guy, not gonna say too much, don't want to jinx it yet. But he's been waiting for this for quite a long, long time. 3 seasons to be exact. Multiple times he's had a chance. Multiple times he's come close. This has really been his golden opportunity. White right now just has to keep maneuvering around traffic. He's doing a good job of that with 8 to go. Yeah, I gotta believe in his mind right now. He's feeling the pressure a little bit. Hayden falling further and further back. Jeff Oakes getting a lot of speed back. Ailton Norgard literally like a madman on a mission. He's dashing. I mean, he is dashing that 12 through traffic and through the speeds. He's got around Abbott. Now he's trying to get to Oakes and then Hayden. And then if he gets really lucky, maybe, just maybe, he's got something for William White. But he is running out of time, and now he's going to run into something even tougher here. Oakes on defensive. And, oh, Logan Key right into the wall there. Going to back it off, get out of the way. Good job on his end, and good racing on his part. Don't ruin the race for everyone else. Norgard, look at this. Look at the power. Look at the speed. He's just drilling right through. Coming deep to the inside. He's looking. He's chucking. Oh, don't touch. Don't touch. Oh, my. That was a little scary thought there for those guys, but they hanged on. Now we'll see if he has truly what it takes to get to him. Look. Oh, Oakes. Oh, my. He was running that thing deep to the inside. He was seeing maybe Hayden would be hating him for that one. I think he may be doing more than just hating him a bit. 5 seconds back. Here's the gap. 5 laps to go. Top 5 on your screen. 6/10 gained. This is going to be close. Norgard knows right now he's got a long distance up there, but he sees the target. 4.5 seconds back right now. William White right now just trying to stay relatively on pace and in control. That was about 5/10 gain there. Not enough. William, as long as he stays focused and he just keeps hitting his marks, there's nothing they can do. Whoa, but I guess I can't say that too quickly. Chad Lancaster almost getting himself caught completely off guard. As now Norgard has to find his way around the throttle Centel bottle. Coming up on 3 laps to go. Bottle gonna stay up high. Norgard gonna drive it low. Sends it around, got a good burst of speed, but again, he's still 3.5+ seconds back. William just needs to hang on. The traffic has done him good, and he may have got a couple. If he had 2 extra laps, I'd say Ailton probably would catch him, but this is looking like it could be finally his. 2 to go. He traveled from across the pond numerous times. A defending Stock Car Series champion in the real world. But the one thing he did not find a way to get off his bucket list, nor to be able to finally take down, was this moment that may be 4 corners away from him. White flag high in the air, presented by Six Sigma Sim Racing. Here is your white flag lap. You can see that gap Norgard's got. He is traveling at extreme speeds, just trying to get him. Williams just needs to just take it easy, get a nice set of corners. It's going to be all or nothing here for Norgard, but it's too little too late. He had a great strategy, but for the first time in 3 seasons at last, William White travels from across the pond to travel to victory lane. What a performance. Something he has been waiting so long to finally accomplish, ladies and gentlemen. No, change that sign there, William. It's no longer best successful finish P2 twice. Change that to first. You've got one, sir. And it's the season opener he claims today. The Landon C 213simware.com 43 finally has done it. I think he may be out of fuel the way he's driving over there. Oh no, he just wanted a little love there from Norgard. How's Abbott down there? He wanted to show his respect to Norgard. He wanted a little love from Abbott, I was gonna say. There it is. I think we got some donuts coming up. There it is, there's the burnouts. Man, oh man, oh man. How long do you think he's been waiting to finally do this, folks? He couldn't get it quite figured out in Xfinity. He had a lot of good stuff in the next gen. But this Gen 4 Cup car finally does the trick. Your race results now on your screen. Presented by Six Sigma Sim Racing. William White, numerous times a runner-up, numerous times a podium, numerous times top 5. The one thing that eluded him was the win, and finally it's off his radar. Ailton Oregar gonna go second. Jeff Oaks, the Old Oak, what a performance, goes third. Corey Abbott, 4th. Jimmy Haight, 5th. Gary Brooks, 6th. Brian Beeman, 7th. Andrew Arcastle, 8th. Parker Kelly, 9th. 10th. To Chad Lancaster, rounds out your top 10. That, my friends, was quite a show. Certainly, we sure hope you enjoyed it, but we have one last little piece of business to attend to if the top 3 are going to join me here. I think we'll let them know here that we can get them in now. Yeah, I know you probably hear my keyboard down there. I apologize in advance. Just have to give us 1 sec here, folks. We'll give them a minute or two. We always do here on the clock. The clock will be ticking away, so whoever joins will be being interviewed. Whoever doesn't, here in the next couple minutes, then we're just going to kind of call it a day. We'll go ahead and give the overlays up, though, here real quick, and just show you our overlays here for our 3rd place finisher, Jeff Oaks, the Old Oak. What a show he put on there, putting out a good little battle and actually taking down one of the tougher ones in Jimmy Hayden. They be hating him, and now they are taking him here for this one. At least first race anyway. There's plenty more races to go. Ailton Oregar back to his finishing position, back to his striving ways as well. Puts on a great performance and a whole lot of momentum to kick up there. Pretty impressive to say the least there. And then, I mean, guys, what can you really say about this guy right here? I mean, William White travels across the pond, travels from start to point A to point B, gets it all figured out, gets it all dialed in, finally gets her going here. We've got some drivers now finally joining us in here, ladies and gentlemen. Our 2nd place finisher today, Ailton Norgard, is going to join us here real quick here. And Ailton, congratulations here. Throwing a lot of run there and throwing a lot of speed on the track. I know it isn't quite the timing you wanted there, but man, you certainly gave it everything you had to those final laps.
Yeah, I was really impressed by William on the previous run before he pit. Just keeping up with me on my fresher tires. If I couldn't open up enough of a gap to have a safe stop like I was hoping for, and that's what made the difference for him. But I made a kind of risky strategy call pitting under that yellow, and it worked out. Not quite as well as I hoped, but still not bad.
I actually want to ask you about that real quick here. You did make that strategy call. You made that position. And my first thought was you were trying to kind of outsmart the leg of the field and kind of outsmart the little bit of the guys that were trying to, get that kind of runoff, get that kind of control underneath you. I mean, really, was it kind of more set towards just getting around Hayden, or were you kind of playing that for the whole long term on everybody?
It was mostly aimed at Jimmy. He was definitely doing better than I was on long runs. So if I was going to do the same thing as him, just wasn't going to win. So I made that call. I made the bet that there were not going to be more yellows, and it turned out I was right, and it paid off. It could have easily gone the other way, but pretty happy with how it played out.
Happy indeed. I have to ask you this real quick, sir. Who do you want to thank you for the second place finish?
Um, the whole Abbott Motorsports crew. It's this season. It's a lot of people. Corey, Jimmy, Andrew, and William is joining us this season. So a lot of fun talking with them throughout the race. So looking forward to the rest of the season.
Oh, we certainly are too, man. What a wild start to this one, but a very fun, chaotic little race to end it. Ailton, congratulations. You're on second place.
Thanks.
Ailton Norgard, ladies and gentlemen, putting on a great performance here, but this guy's been waiting so long to finally get to talk with us about this one. Ladies and gentlemen, from across the pond, and finally change that best 6S Oval finish there, sir. It's now P1. You've done it, sir, here in Charlotte, man. Tell me about this one.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've won a league race. Last time was August last year, so 10 months. It's been a long time coming. I've had a lot of bad luck in pretty much every league I've competed in for best part of a year now, but this race, I didn't qualify very well. I started sixth, but I knew I had the long run pace. I got near the front, and the strategy just ended up working in my favor. I was pretty paranoid about a yellow coming out towards the end, but in the end, it stayed green, and that's all I needed to take it.
To take control of this one here. I mean, William, man, it really looked like I thought at first that Ailton kind of had a strategy perked up and kind of set up, but then we looked at the lap counter, and when you and Hayden were out, you saved your tires. You fought hard there and valiantly against Jeffrey, and then coming to the end, it looked like he was coming for you. He was charging, but it looked like you were able to at least stay under control and deal with the pressure there at that last bit.
Yeah, there were so many of these guys were quick. All the Abbott Motorsports guys were quick. Jeff and the like, Carey were all really, really quick. So I had to be on my A game for it. I just managed to stretch out that last or that second to last run just enough so that I'd make it on fuel. And then from then on, I just knew that I had the tire advantage. I could maintain the gap from there. I Leighton really quick, but didn't have enough time to catch me at the end. So green flag was all I needed.
Absolutely. Well, I will ask this real quick, my friend. You have finally, after 3 seasons, put one into victory lane. Who do you want to thank you from across the pond?
Well, I've got to thank all the guys at Abbott Motorsports, Corey Abbott, Leighton Norgard, Andrew Hardcastle, Jimmy Hayden, all those guys. PCM putting on the show, Ben and Carey behind the scenes do a lot of brilliant work for the league. Sponsors 213 and Landon CNSB, new one on board for this season, so we've got two of them now. Yeah,
Well, William, it's been way too long, but it was a long time coming. Congratulations, finally getting her done, buddy.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, from across the pond, William White brings it home to England today. What a performance, guys. What a race. A lot of nationality represented in this one, and I guarantee you this season just kicked off in a big, big way. A big thank you to Six Sigma Sim Racing again for their sponsorship and support to the Oval League and to us here on PT Race TV. Thank you to all those that tuned in. At least it was a great show. A lot of hard racing and a lot of very unique situations. I'm going to have to study these cars a little bit and give you guys some more thoughts on it. But for now, it's been a pleasure. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. I'll see you next time when the green flag flies on PT Race TV.